we did have probably a bit dry because we deal with a strong foundation of the family. This is based on book of Amoris Laetitia or Joy of Love from Vatican. So when you start with building a family, you really want to dig deep so that you have a good foundation. Now you can slowly build it up. So tonight I will invite you to journey with me. We'll deal with more on our own human experience. So human experience in the family life, there are always challenges, there are always crises you can't avoid it. So today we focus on only eight in the church document, in all our church document. They are easy for reference. They always use paragraph. Paragraph 1, 2, 3, up to 1,000 or something like that. So we are dealing with paragraph 231 to 238. So this is how the church make it easier to reference. In other, perhaps other institution, they ask you to look for part 1, chapter 5, section, subsection, so it's a bit cumbersome to refer. The church make it easier. You just look for the paragraph. In every paragraph, this number. So today, I want to bring you to look at the challenge of crisis from this book, especially for paragraph 231 to 238. Now, I was trying to look for some example in other paper. I found that there's one from Chinese philosophy. It's very meaningful. You take one positive and one negative, become a challenge. Let me show you the word. Crisis in Chinese is Wei Ji crisis, or in Malay also is crisis, ataupun cabaran. Where did you get these two words? It comes from two different words. It's from danger, 危险, bahaya. And when you look at the Weiji where it comes from, it's from Qi Hui, opportunity. So when you combine the two, Wei Ji, it becomes crisis. In Chinese, crisis is opportunity, is a danger, is a challenge, but is also an opportunity. In English, they say, you break through or you break down. Where do you want to go? It's a challenge. So in Chinese philosophy, you combine two words from two phrases, 危险 in danger, 机会 opportunity. So when you combine 危机 is in Chinese is a crisis. Crisis has an opportunity and has also a danger. So today I want to introduce to you the challenges of crisis as our church has seen from that document. Paragraph 231, crisis and challenges. It's a few paragraphs, but I choose I call what is more important. Love of husband and wife, like a fine wine, becomes stronger. A good wine begins to breathe in time. Fidelity has to do with patience and expectation. Is joy and sacrifice bear fruit as the years go by, and the couple rejoice to see its children. Just recently, last month, I visited my friend, my classmate when we were studying in Rome 30 years ago. So he said, come, I will show you in Tuscany. Tuscany is a very popular place in Italy. I said, this is the time I want to see. So of the two places he brought me, one was how to make salami. And the second one, how do you make wine? And you get the ingredient, you collected also by ingredient in the tanks, and you put in the past, they said they used to, I've seen that in Germany, the traditional way of making wine, they step on the grapes, like they make the chinchalak, the torches, step, until they're really into pieces and mix, and you let it ferment. Then you get the water, and then they will purify it. And this one, I went to the factory, the Catholic factory of oil. It's like a swimming pool. It's underground. It's 8 meter deep. And the fermenting underground, they need chill. And when all the precipitate went down, they got hot, suck it up, and they put it in the bottle. And they prep. And in one day, they produce 40,000 bottles. That's how, and they said, when this went out, they got from all the country to Ireland, America, England, Australia, and all other places. And I have the opportunity to see. They said the longer, when they are in the water, you want to keep the one, it's good for studying, you put it sideways because it's like cork. So that the cork is wet, it will not brittle. And usually they put it underground. They call it the cellar. The longer you keep the one, the better, the stronger the one will become. So the cellar took this example of the wine. The longer you keep, it breathes in time. So this example, you use it in marriage. The wine is like a fidelity, faithfulness to one another. And this has to do with patience and expectation, joyful or sacrifices. And this will bear fruit as years go by. And couple rejoice to see is that see your children's children. That was a promise of creation of Adam and Eve. And this, the Pope quoted the example of Saint John of the Cross, a reformer in the Carmelite order. It's not all of us, many of us are all of us, husband and wife, are tried and true. You have gone through hardship. You bear it with patience. And this is true love. And it lasts. You, according to quoting John of the Cross, are outwardly no longer a fire with powerful emotion, but the older, all those I love you was toned up already. That is for young people when they try to court one another. But when you go older, you don't have to say any word. You look at it, they feel of your presence, they feel the touch, they feel the air, they feel the smell. They hear the sound, you know he or she is there. There's no longer needed like the fire of young people, powerful emotion and impulse. But now, taste the sweetness of the wine of love. Well aged, well seasoned, and stored deep within their hearts, like the one is stored deep in the sand. So, such couples who have gone through hardship and big rest and still stay on, that's what I I mentioned yesterday about the 70% who did not want to give up. You went through hard time, bad time, richness, poverty, sickness, health, only till death do you depart. So those who have gone through that, I said the church content like 70%. Such couples have successfully overcome crisis and hardship without running away from challenges or covering up concealing problems. And many of the problems I will show later, I always like to use short phrases to remember. We call it SS. You know what SS? Because it's a share, so we keep it secret. Many people want to smile, but you don't know it's not inside. You quarrel probably in the bedroom or in the house, but you look good outside. We conceal all this problem. We do not confront them. So, to go back to the Chinese philosophy, peluang menghadapi bahaya. This can become an opportunity to grow, to mature, become seasoned. Now, 2232 paragraph says every crisis can become opportunity in maturing the love between husband and wife. I put the quotation from John 15:2. That Jesus said, I am the one, my Father is the gardener. Those who prune, those who don't bear fruit, he cuts away. Those are good to him, he prune and bear much fruit. So it is like marriage, relationship between husband and wife. The crisis can be opportunity to mature because, as I say, I give you an example. You say you come from a different background, different family bring up, family culture, family history, or even probably family hurts, family secret. So the husband comes from a different. You have 95% from your own. When you come together, you need to perfect that 10%. And that's where you have shoulders. But I will show later on, it's not easy. But depending on the culture, what happens. But to see many people, elderly, are still together, that is what we call a seasoned love or seasoned nature wine. Crisis faced by couple is opportunity to strengthen the bond between husband and wife. You never say anything, but when 20 years of doing counseling with husband and wife, I've learned in the beginning I got a bit apprehensive when couple come and shout and quarrel. But later on, I found out this is an opportunity. The problem is when people come for counseling or come to complain, they don't say anything. You don't know what happened. At the end, they say, try, divorce. But if they quarrel, they're still talking. They still have to work it out. Then you become to listen. They are not saying, you listen. But if they don't talk, that is a danger. Secret danger. Then I begin to find out when people are still talking, and there's an opportunity to heal, to strengthen. If they are not talking, you don't know what is going on. So the church proposed that in confronting crisis, couples have to be patient and always dialogue, communicate. If you don't say anything, I do not know what is between, what is inside you or what is inside you. Some people, well, it often some people like to gossip, or some people like to disturb the family. Probably family feud, or because of grudges, or because of jealousy, anything can happen. If you just pass someone, and if you don't find out your spouse or your partner, then you begin to believe what people say. And that's the beginning of the problem. But if you can talk it out, and you find out it's not true. Somebody fixes it. So communication is important. That's why in pre-marriage courses they always have this communication. We have mouth, we have ear, we have to speak, and somebody have to listen. I remember there's one joke they say when we want to court somebody or berpacaran or kawan, jangan kita bulat. The man will promise even the moon. Jangan kita bulat. Sama kan di Jordan. So I promise that even the man will be talking, the lady will be listening. Keep on promising anything. That's why the man is always want to impress. But after they got engaged, the woman start talking and the man start thinking. Because they say, you promised me this, you promised that. Makes you fulfill. Because we don't live all the. So now the man got caught. The fiance will be talking, the man will be listening. Once they got married, they agreed. But they have one child and two children. Both of them will be talking. Who will be listening? The neighbors will be listening. Should be arguing and nobody is listening, and both are shouting. And something wrong with the structure of communication. If you want to find out what's wrong with my family, what's wrong with us, then you have to ask, how is the structure of your family? Is it the dominant part yang bercakap tu lelaki atau perempuan? Many society in the Asian district, the man is a dominant and the wife only listen and follow the same. But you don't know, things will bottom up. I have encountered a few occasions when suddenly the wife asked for divorce after 3 years of marriage. I said, why? When the husband said, I have no other person, no other woman. Tiada, kain tiga, tiada perempuan yang lain. I work overtime and even weekend I do business to get more money so that we have a bigger house, we have a bigger car, so that we can travel, we have more money. So why? I provide everything 3 years. And the wife said, yeah, you're married to your job. I'm always alone. I waited for you to come home. The food at home. I pray alone. I sleep alone. I cry alone. After 3 years, it's enough. And then you marry, you get your job, you get your big house. I have to look for somebody who cares for me. And many things happen like that. Especially when husband is the breadwinner, or now they have a wife who is a breadwinner. So if no communication, things will be red flag, red flag. What happened? You don't talk to your wife, you don't talk to your husband, somebody will talk to somebody else. And then the third triangle love comes in. So every minute, especially during the problem, the Pope said the older who are more seasoned parents, husband and wife who are in the ministry, should help those in the first 5 years of marriage. Very fragile. They need to build up their relationship and hard time, how to deal with finance, how to deal with in-laws, how to deal with new trial or children coming up. So they need to learn how to accept differences. You come from a different background and to disengage from parents. I have encountered in the last 35 years serving as a priest, almost like 40 to 50%, the woman or the man will come and say, I want to try. I said, what's the reason? He respect and listen more to his mother than me, because they were staying in the same house. Then I said, well, what's wrong with that? How come when we get married, they say the two become one and leave their parents? But we are staying with the parents. And my husband paid more attention to my mother-in-law than to me, who are supposed to be a family. So many things can happen when in-laws get involved. It doesn't mean that they don't get involved, but they are more seasoned people to help. But if you have to choose, I have one man clearly set in front of me to the wife. If you want to choose between my mother and you, I choose my mother. So the wife was ready with the paper. You sign this paper now. You go and get married to your mother. I'm getting out. I say, wait. You are stop talking. Let's talk something. Since you are talking, this is the secret that I have developed. After so many sessions, suddenly it's about mother-in-law and the wife. I thought about the father-in-law and the daughter. Which one? So, during couple have to understand, those of you who have more season can communicate and let them know about how you handle all these things. Disengage, you have to build up your own family. With arrival of children, time who is going to look after, and the mother has been there all day. When you come back to work, and the husband, when midnight you get up to make the susu. So if you raise a family not alone, you raise family together. So raising small children is not a change of lifestyle. I need to redefine relationship where no more husband and wife. We are mother and father. This is something next chapter. And the responsibility is not only the father, not only the mother, but both you are the parents. So at the same time the child is coming, if we are living in a 3-generation house, and you stay with the mother-in-law or stay with the father-in-law, then the parents are getting more. You have your children, new family, and you have the parents. This is a child. How do you deal with that? Young couple, ask your parents, how do you do it? They are more seasoned. You have to respect the authority, but you also have to look at the need of your own new family. How do you tackle all this communication? Dialogue. Can we have some boundary, or can we have some time? How do we respect our parents? Respect our parents, we still have to. And how do you respect the children? How do you spend quality time? So we need to redefine what is. All these are demanding situations that can cause apprehension, can cause ketegangan, tension in relationship. Sometimes you cannot fulfill which one to choose. You feel guilty and you become depressed. And you depressed and guilty, so much emotion take a lot of energy and you become very tired. This will cause a lot of tension in the marriage. That's why the Pope said communication, dialogue is important. Now there are those personal crises that affect life couples. Not only with parent, in-laws, not only about the children, but husband and wife. How do you spend? You don't spend like a single anymore. Now you have responsibility. Involves finance. Enough or not? How about your hobby? How about your expenses? Your individual expenses, your work, and also the expenses of the children. Your children, family coming up. And this is a problem of workplace, emotional, social, and also spiritual difficulties. There may be a lot of unexpected situations present about themselves, disrupting family life, and require a process of forgiveness and reconciliation. It is becoming more and more common to think that when one or both partners no longer feel fulfilled or things have not turned out the way they wanted, sufficient reason exists to end marriages. If this were to happen, then no marriage will last. If small problem you cannot tahan, and of course, then no marriage will be tahan. I don't know what the problem of demographic problem family life in Brunei, but I can give you one example. In Malaysia, it was reported in Malaysian Parliament. It was reported by an assistant minister in family and women affairs. When she was assistant minister, but now she has been promoted to be the minister of social youth and sport. This popular minister is Yana Hanayo. This is the record I managed to get from the parliament. And she reported what are the reason people divorce in Malaysia. Saya misalnya, audio.
Tempoh 5 tahun pertama perkahwinan adalah yang paling mencabar. Merujuk kepada kajian penduduk dan keluarga Malaysia kelima yang telah dijalankan oleh Lembaga Penduduk dan Pembangunan Keluarga Negara (LPPKN) pada tahun 2014, lebih 1/3 perkahwinan pertama yang berakhir dengan perceraian atau perpisahan berlaku dalam tempoh 5 tahun pertama usia perkahwinan. Antara punca-punca utama berlakunya perceraian pada perkahwinan pertama bagi lelaki ialah kerana tiada persefahaman, isteri curang, tiada persefahaman 56.2%, isteri curang 11.8% dan campur tangan mentua atau ipar 10%. Manakala bagi wanita pula, sebanyak 38% wanita menyatakan punca utama penceraian adalah kerana tiada kesefahaman, diikuti dengan suami curang sebanyak 20.5% dan suami tidak bertanggungjawab sebanyak 15.2%. Mengikut satu laporan yang telah dilaporkan di dalam sinar harian, maaf dalam FNP yang ini memetik daripada Jabatan Kehakiman Syariah Selangor. Banyak kes-kes perceraian yang remeh melibatkan pasangan muda. Antara sebab-sebab yang mereka file ada banyak sebab, tetapi banyak punca ini adalah perkara yang remeh yang menyebabkan tiada kesepahaman dan mereka pergi bercerai. Sebab-sebab yang saya boleh baca daripada sini adalah isteri suka mengikuti hubungan beramai-ramai. Punca. Isteri suka membasuh baju pada waktu malam. Ini saya basuh baju waktu malam, tapi ini adalah salah satu punca yang difalkan. Suami tidak suka isteri makan dalam kereta.
Dengan basuh baju waktu malam anda tahu.
Apa nak buat, sidang parlimen selalu buat waktu malam.
Semua bersingkatkan pembahasan, jangan tak boleh rombongan dan dapur dulu banyak wanita pergi angin.
Tunggu ya, berbeza pahaman politik juga punca perceraian. Gaji suami lebih rendah, pasangan hidup berdengkur, pasangan gemar membeli belah. Saya baca sebab-sebab ini kerana saya nak menunjukkan bahawa faktor perceraian sekarang sangat serius kerana perkara-perkara remeh digunakan sebagai sebab untuk file permohonan perceraian.
Now, what is it? The divorce in Malaysia, I'm not very serious, very little thing. Among the things is that, okay, misunderstanding one. Another one is the in-laws and parents got involved. And another one is a third person involved. Among women and also among men. But the second part what he mentioned about in Selangor was ridiculous. Snoring can cause divorce. Can you tell me? I read about one case in Australia. The other, their grandfather, they call all the children and the grandchildren to celebrate their 50th wedding anniversary. And very happy. Next morning, the wife already packed. I said, what happened? I'm giving up. I have enough 50 years of snoring. Probably they are getting old, they already see that of it. They just follow the emotion and they don't think right anymore. Never mind, they are old enough, okay, go and live with the daughter. Let's separate them. That should be alright. Because of health, mental health problem. But they say, among those in Selangor, the husband would want to try. Why? Because they like to go touring. Jalan ramai-ramai. They go, all the women go have their own program. Another one ridiculous is that because the wife like to eat in the car. Now, if these are the things to cause divorce, then there's no marriage can last. This is just an example. And it was pointed out in the document. And if little thing, you cannot stand, you don't talk, and you did not fulfill what you promised me, then there's no marriage. Probably the tribunal can help them because there's no marriage at the first place. Why? You marry with condition. It's a conditional marriage. It can be settled in the tribunal. Probably there's no marriage at the beginning because you're hiding something. You're not telling the priest or meeting the PI. So at times, all it takes to decide that everything is over in a single instant of dissatisfaction. I have somebody from Paris They got married, and after 6 months, they sent to our counseling center. Say, what happened? The husband said, my wife want to divorce me. So I asked my wife, why? When I got married, I make a secret pact with my partner. Said, when we get married, there are two things I want. One, you must buy me a car. And second one, we must save our own house. It's too short a time, 6 months. I'm only a clerk in the registrar. How much I earn, I cannot buy a house. And the wife said, he cannot fulfill. I'm filing divorce. So they were asking, what do you think of this marriage? I said, tribunal, you better deal with this case. This is a conditional marriage. Can be probably dissolved. There are many cases I can tell you of my 20 years until ridiculous. I just give you an example what in Malaysia is happening. In the parliament, in Malaysia is another thing. But the church also realized it's not only in the parliament of Malaysia, but in our own society. So situations were right involving human weakness, and this can prove emotionally overwhelming too much. One spouse may not feel fully appreciated and may be attracted to another person. If you don't listen to what I want to say, the wife may be speaking to someone who wants to listen. And that someone who was willing to listen because he did not have that opportunity from his wife. So this husband, they are both dead, and they said they have the same similar problem, and they began to discuss. And they talk at the end, things emotionally get involved. Then thing reflect. And many of this case begins with that. Physical changes naturally occur in everyone. These and so many other things, rather than threatening love, are so occasion for reviving and renewing. In any event, while realizing that reconciliation is a possibility, we also see that what is urgently needed today is a ministry to care for those whose marital relationship has broken down. Now, I think our conference, Brunei, Singapore, and Malaysia the bishop began to realize we want to concentrate on family. You have a lot of commission. You have justice, deal with justice, Christian justice. You have youth. You have women's league, women apostle. You have liturgy or all others. But all these people be people. And every people involved in the family. And church activity can also be attention. Because if we will to follow what the minister said, the ladies like to travel from the north. The women's league, the women's apostle, and the husband was alone in the house. That's why now there's a book that said, ladies, when you organize your activity, make sure you invite your husband to be part. And children, sometimes you are allowed to feel older if the family are not involved. You don't know who they are with, where they go. And many of the children, I think for many parents, when you cannot stand the pressure, and especially in the house, and with the modern kids now, we have our own way of bringing up by our parents. And we do not see the children growing up. They are digital kids. They are multimedia kids. Now they say AI kids. When the child in primary school, when they are they will always why do you realize that? But when they are in secondary school, I know. And the parents are like, you don't know. And I said, they know better than us. Because they are more exposed to multimedia. But then how? We cannot fight them. I have to take control. No, I said, we have to talk. That's why one of the last point just yesterday was parents and technology. Their children, they are not old enough to make choices. They don't know why. They will just go in any. But that's why parents say, you do not know what is it, never mind. But you can be a moral guide. You should not for this. This is not for you yet. Because for a growing teenager, it's like 15 to 17, only then they are on a collective reasoning development. We know that they are not kids anymore, but they are not adult yet. They're in between. They want to live their childish, but they want to say, I'm a man, I'm a woman. Not yet, they're minor. After Form 5, okay. But they are Form 2, Form 3, still developing. The understanding is not strong yet. So, what happened when the parent used old way of disciplining? You know what to do? Weekend, they will, after school, they shut their bag, they take their bag, they will go to their friend's house. You don't know who they are. That's why parents need to know who are their company, what they are doing. Otherwise, things will be too late when you get a call from the Malay police. I say, nanti anda kau di Malay police, apa sila datang. Then you find out you're not involved in any criminal thing. You will try anything, forbidden area, but they will call. So this need to look into this. Now, where did you get when you have this tension? Parents when they are growing up, by the time they are 40, 50, many people say the midlife crisis. But crisis sounds like very bad. But I think it's a midlife transition. They are going to make it. If you look at in your marriage, when you are age around 50, they say, you play tambola, rolling number. I used to play with the sector before I turned 7. They say, number 40, women get naughty. 50, number 50, men get naughty. That's the time there's a crisis or new faith. Of course, 50 years, the half century, the mind, the experience, and the friends, and the things you get to share. I don't have to think about it. Your children will be in their teenagers. They are also a problem. If these things are not handled, the family is a problem. Because the husband and wife are thinking about divorce already. And the child, the teenagers, they are dealing with illegal things. And what happened? Broken family. Now, where did these things come from? Yesterday, we were touching on ideally, marriage should bear fruit and inform this. This is a theological foundation, spiritual foundation. But today we have to face reality. Where did this problem come? And this is called heart. Hurt. And at the end, if that hurt, the child is not there and the parent divorced, and the court are forced to decide custody. The boy will go to the father, the girl will go to the mother. If they are underage, then it should go to the mother. And then the children, many of them, they will be taught in their class, and they will be teased by their classmates. And you live with your mother has a boyfriend. You live with your father has a second wife. Which one is your mother? And the young kids cannot differentiate because it's very shameful. They cannot, not mature enough to understand. And there is a problem with our children having personality disorder. Now, I want to show you some of these psychological things where, when we are growing up, things may have happened in certain phases of our life. This is the talk of again to the commission on immigrants. The was in KK, that's why he knew about this, asked me to take a talk about this one. Now, human development. When we were formed, all of us, ego is the cell where the mothers, they form that person. In Latin, the person of I is ego. We say the DNA of a person, this is the person born, ego. So when the person grows up, he's pure, white. And the closest relation he or she grew up with is a family, a sibling. And then probably a brother, sister will teach him or that, and the family will teach extended family. And the child will be confused and he will learn slowly. Things he start or she start learning is from the family. And next, you go to bigger environment, you go to school, preschool, kindergarten, primary school, secondary school, college. And then you come to the introduced to the environment. We learn history, geography, science, and everything, right? But no, we have influence. But you also influence now, no more with your sibling. You know about the sibling already. You are making friends in school. Or you have extracurricular outside. You're learning new things. Mind will start developing. And eventually you go to the society and you learn culture. All type of culture, just like in the past they said, budaya kuning. Euro culture is all those hippies and free for all. Depend on what culture you pick up. Nowadays, the word culture is no more only traditional culture. They say we have gang taking drugs together, or we steal bicycles. There are a lot of groups like that. It becomes a culture. Depending on who you mix with. So in our different level, we have different phases of influence. We learn from what we are growing up. Good if you are brought up. Ideally, if we are brought up, okay, but experientially, in reality, it's not like that. That's why we come from the imperfect society. That's why Pope Francis said, there's no perfect society, there's no perfect husband, no perfect wife, no perfect father-in-law, mother-in-law, no perfect marriage. But this needs to be developed. Who can help? Husband and wife have to do that. How do you do that? Dialogue, communicate, and learn from one another. So according to one Erickson psychosocial development, there are 8 phases where a child develops to pick up things. Infancy, from birth to 1 year old infancy, the child will learn about trust. The child, he can speak, okay, but they will cry. This is a different type of cry. Only the mother or learning from the grandpa. This is dia nangis dia lapar. Nangis ni already merah. Always something insect biting. They know the language. The husband said, I don't know. The cry they know. We will see that too already outside. You have to change that person. So infant, their faith on their minds have not been learned. They consider the father and mother as God. When they cry, they will come, they trust. But if this infant do not get that trust and loving relation, caregiving, there's a risk in persistent sense of mistrust. In this age, if they are not even, the child is given until the child cry, and yet the child becomes silent. Not that she became quiet. The child developed in themselves the brain faith, no reduction, no point of crying. I asked, but nobody can learn. So that stage developed, it developed a mistrust. Tidak diharap. So what potential strength to be get is hope. They say, I cry, nobody come. No hope. Tidak harapan. So the second stage, 1 to 3, autonomy, they want to learn, they want to be free. But some parents still hold on, but the child will get done. Because they have learned how to stand, they have learned how to move around, and they want to explore. That's the explore, that's something dangerous. At the same time, some parents or other people probably live ignorant or do not know development of the child, or probably they have to start their own family level. There's no older generation to teach them. So they hold on to the child and do not let them explore. They are supposed to learn autonomy. That's very important to how to go to the toilet. Not every time mommy or daddy have to do it. If they are not allowed to explore, what happens? The child energy are directed toward developing of physical skill, including walking, grasping, spinning control. The child learns control, but may develop shame if not handled properly. At the end, you want to get up, you won't let go. Sometimes tight neck, the child cry, at the end, they don't want to fight it. So at the end, what will happen when they grow up? They are not free to do things. Daddy, can you look for a wife for me? Because they did not develop some ability to initiate relationship. So what potential strength you get is when they have very big will. That's the time to develop. And this is the age also. I was sharing with people that people should learn. And this is the time to develop their parenting. They want to experience that. This is the time a child learn to speak language. Why there are reports from ministry education, many children, by the time they go to primary school, they still cannot talk properly. Why when the parents come back, gadget, give handphone, play games, or movie, or cartoon, or the silent movie, there's nobody to talk to. They are only watching silent movie or the handphone, silent game. When they pass this 3 years old, they are going to develop something else. The speech training, kedengaran. Don't be surprised when you go to school, they cannot speak. Because this is the age supposed to explore. Preschool initiative, okay. They want to try to, that's why you see when they go to Judah preschool, kids are very, very honest and very generous. You have to share, you have to share everything. You give them everything. Or if it is not taught the children, the child if properly trained or initiated will be more assertive. You take initiative and maybe forceful or injure others or object which leads to guilt. Because this is the time they learn boundary and also how to deal with another person. Boundary means if you don't control, people grow up, they are not used to be controlled or say this and limit. When they go to people's house, they will go into people's room, they will take anything because nobody told them this, they cannot do that. Some parents want to be very regular, let him move. But at the end, they didn't know them. They are batas. Ya, kalau rumah orang masuk terik, they take anything to them. Because nobody, the parents don't know. They have to learn it themselves. And this is what lacking Protestant is the purpose. Why do you want to do this purpose? That's why I always tell parents where the churches I serve, if we have to have a charity or presentation or gift offering, train the children young. When they are young, we train them, they will grow up, be a very charitable person. They are willing to, not only in giving, but in helping people. It is trained by young. In school, private school, hardworking or do not feel inferior. The school age child must deal with the demands to learn new, complex skill or risk assessment. If you are not allowed to learn things, and the child will become irresponsible. And when they grow up, that skill also develop. They will not take up any responsibility because they feel sad. I'm not able. I can't. Because at this age, they are supposed to learn all these things. But due to form, nobody take care or they are allowed to do their own. If they mix with good stuff or mix until our people taught them good, but if they are on their own, then the child will be very inferior. And this thing we need to train competence. This is secondary school, identity role or role confusion. Teenage, young adult, must achieve a sense of identity of who he or she is or what he or she will be in several areas, including occupation, gender role, politics, and religion. If they are not exposed and openly explained, the character, and this is where personality comes in. And maybe in between this age, if they say, Rakan Samaya, they will join, ladies will join ladies, the girls will go, the boys will do their own thing. But if there are not adult guidance, this is where children got influence from media, they choose same-sex attraction. Because this is the time where they mix with the same age or same sex. But if they are influenced by other media or whatever, at the end they find very nice, is correct. So very young they say, I declare I am not going to be married, I have my girlfriend, I have my boyfriend. They start with that. And they grow up and they follow this is a big group and they become a culture. And by that time they By the time you realize the time, suddenly, right, the boys, so many boys are their own boys, but the people are till their 20s and working, they're still. At the end, you say, what happened? Yeah, they have girlfriend, they have a boyfriend. Then is you begin to ask, what happened? These are not conceived born, but these are picked up at the age of the faces of the Lord. And these are not intimacy or isolation, are not immersed with we, not I, in trying to go club or things. And this is a time when they try to get out of the group. They want to try probably a man that if he's healthy, his personality is clear. He will look for opposite sex. This is the issue. But some, because of some problems, make fun or shame, bad experience, this may be the cause that you won't get married. Children, heartbroken, do not know how to handle the emotion. So, their strength they need to get is love. This is working life, big life. You have a lot of experience, your rank and file. This is a time you are available. You find ways to satisfy the need, to be generative, to support next generation. And this is where most people, when they are senior, you want to share things. I have this experience I want to tell. But young people, if you're training 30 years ago, it doesn't fit us. That's why you see this coming in. At the end, the parents got angry. They said, why you are not listening? But they are brought up in the digital way. I would say, kind of that technical. Here is children grow up differently. So we have to learn from it. Sister, retirement, and then adulthood. Either you quarrel with the child or you play with the child. So in previous stages have been dealt with reasonably well. The cumulative is except for one set of one. So you grow up, you can play with the children, play with the children. You are still learning. But if you are not, and become a grumpy old man, everything is negative. And they don't like noises. Children cannot have it. Or in the company, they will say, they build a hut in the Kabul. They say, rumah meraus. They say, since they don't accept me, I feel I'm not happy. I better stay alone. Maybe this. In fact, they already have the already old. They don't need to plant or work anymore. It's just a rescue. I go to the farm. In fact, they stay in the farm. You want to avoid noises, the new gadget and everything. But if we can accept that we do make some mistake, but if you do the more positive, then if we are more positive, then we can say it's positive. They will get wisdom, we will get wisdom, and this is where we come, we share with them. Children, we share with them. Now, if you look at these end phases, sometimes we jump the phase. Why? Because especially older generation, if you are the elders and you have too many other adik-adik, and then although you may be smart, but you can't go higher study. The parents will ask you to work to help feed the younger sibling and their schooling. So you meet some of the teenage work or even the adulthood. So at the end, they miss the jump. After some time, when the responsibility, other brothers have grown up, and then now the children get scholarship, they are split. We feel that the responsibility is lighter. What happened? He may go back to what he missed. He may go to the island and do not have the chance to play when he was younger. The unresolved old issue. You can go back to that. That's why we may be physically mature, intellectually mature, but we are emotionally immature. Okay? Now, this is where some of these things can happen to us. Uh, Before I break up, I just want to underscore the summary of the crisis and challenges. Understandably, families often experience problems when one of their members is emotionally immature because he or she still bears the scars of early experiences. They were not given the chances. There are pula untuk berkembang. An unhappy childhood or adolescence can bring personal crises that affect confidence. Because, okay now, I grow up, I leave the home, now I want to get married. When you meet your new wife or your new husband, suddenly you found in your spouse that experience like you're just like my father. You are too rigid, and then the husband said, you are just like your mother, too liberal. Then you are only my man, you cannot simply go up to party again. So, where did that come from? Probably these are not developed in those stages of life. It can come up in marriage. So, everyone mature or not, crisis would be frequent and less painful. Yet, the fact is that only in their 40s, probably, do some people achieve maturity and should have come at the end of adolescence. So, when you get married, you say, but 40s, some people 40s are not married yet because they are not doing it mature. Some love with selfish, capricious, being unstable, cannot make decisions. And self-centered love of a child. Unfulfilled love that screams or cries when he fails to get money. I want this, I want this, I want this. I marry you because I want you. You promised me. You janji terang bulan. So it's a very immature marriage because it's conditional, or because we have not grown out of our. We always in the past we always talk about IQ intellectual quotient. But now many more and more, even employers want to be employed. They will ask not only the IQ, I know your IQ, and so your paper, but how about your EQ? How about your SQ? EQ is emotional maturity. How do you handle crisis? How do you handle confrontation in the workplace? How do you deal with public, your social EQ? So IQ is only one. Now they go for EQ. So this will develop into our inner wounds. We keep it, that's why I said share and it's a secret. So at the end, all this boiling, many people have childhood without ever having felt unconditional love. This affects their ability to be trusting or open to others. A poor relationship with one's parents and brothers and sisters, siblings, if left unhealed, can re-emerge and hurt marriage. Because you see your partner, suddenly the character of your brother, I hate your brother. And you have the character of your brother. Become a topic of contention. So if unresolved all issues is not dealt with the process of liberation taking place, the problem emerges in marriage. Before important decisions are made, it is important to ensure that each spouse has come to grips with his or her own history. This involves recognizing a need for healing, insistent prayer for the grace to forgive and be forgiven, a willingness to accept help, and determination not to give up but keep trying. So, a sincere self examination will make it possible to see how one's own shortcomings and immaturity affect your relationship with your partner or husband. Right? Even if it seems clear that the other person is at fault, a crisis will never be overcome simply by expecting your partner to change. We have also to ask what in our own life needs to grow and heal if the conflict is resolved. So I give you a few minutes to think as we break out for 5 minutes.